Well, President Obama heads back to Washington today from a trip to Europe and the Middle East, highlighted by his address to the Muslim world last Thursday. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, of course, joined the president on that trip, and our chief Washington correspondent and host of This Week, George Stephanopoulos, sat down with Secretary Clinton for her very first Sunday morning interview as secretary. And George joins us now for the bottom line on that exclusive conversation. Good morning to you, George.
Hey, Kate.
During the campaign, Secretary Clinton criticized then-Senator Obama about how he would react to foreign policy challenges. She had that famous 3 a.m. phone call ad. What does she say now that she's on the same team as him?
Well, that was, of course, one of the big questions I asked her. You know, this, as you said, is her first Sunday interview as Secretary of State. First time she's come out on Sunday morning television since the campaign. And in fact, her campaign ended 1 year ago today. It seems like a millennium ago.
Wow.
But it was 1 year ago today where she gave that famous speech talking about the 18 million cracks in the glass ceiling as she conceded to Barack Obama. So we had a lot of ground to cover with the secretary. And one of the key questions I asked her is, because it's back at the center of American politics right now, is what does she say now about that 3 a.m. ad? Has the president answered her question?
The Economist magazine said this week that the question you raised in that famous 3 a.m. ad is right back at the center of American politics. Has the president answered it for you?
Absolutely. And, you know, the president, in his public actions and demeanor, and certainly in private with me and with the national security team, has been strong, thoughtful, decisive. I think he's doing a terrific job, and it's an honor to serve with him.
We also talked a lot about what Secretary Clinton is doing now, what exactly her role is on the Obama team, how she fits in, and she has some revealing things to say about how he convinced her to join the team after that those bitter primaries. There's a lot to cover with the Secretary of State, and she also has some very blunt words for Iran and Israel.
I know one of the things you talked to her about was the big speech that the president gave to the Muslim world while he was on this trip. What does she have to say about Middle East peace and their progress on that front?
Well, they know they have a lot of work to do. I think there's just no question about that. And in fact, her envoy, George Mitchell, Senator George Mitchell, is going to be leaving for the region either late tonight or tomorrow, meeting in Israel with Prime Minister Netanyahu on Tuesday. And there's a big gulf now between the United States and Israel over this issue of whether or not Israel is going to freeze the settlements. The Secretary took a very hard line on that, but they're also going to be pressing the Palestinians and other Arab states to meet their obligations as well. Senator Mitchell's going to be gone for about 8 or 9 days, including a visit to Syria, and they are all hoping to show some progress at the end of this trip because they know the speech raised expectations through the roof.